Hi, beautiful viewers. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Brenda here. Um, Thank you so much for joining me. Happy 2021, first of all. I know 2020 was tough on so many of us, and I want to thank God that amid this COVID-19 pandemic, amid this the lockdown, amid this the many accidents, amid this the many deaths, we want to thank God that His grace is sufficient and that it's because of His grace that we are here in 2021. Yes. On today's episode, I would like to talk about fear, and I want to mostly talk about how we can handle fear. So I wrote down 4 ways. I know there are so many ways we can handle, but I wrote down 4. Briefly, just to talk about the causes of fear, but also depending on our different personalities, they are not the same for all of us. So while I'm going through a different stimuli, you might also be going through a different one. So I will talk about briefly what causes fear, or what some of us are afraid of. Some of us are afraid of snakes. Some of us are afraid of heights. Some of us are afraid of water. Some of us are afraid of social interaction, for example, in groups. Some of us are afraid. Yes, just briefly. And maybe the other natural one that we can't avoid is death, and it comes with a lot of fear as well. I will just talk about 4 ways how we can deal with fear. And the first way, especially for that fear that you can control, for example, you're going to a gathering, you're going for a job interview, you're going to address people, how we can handle that sort of fear. Number one, distract your mind. Yeah. I know that the fear will be there, you'll be thinking about it, but you can try to think about something else, probably something more pleasant. Yes. And then number two is you can decide to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Yes. That relaxation technique works very well for fear. You know that time when you're really anxious, yes, you breathe in and out as many times as you can. It helps out a lot. And the third and most important for me is facing the fear. Yes, I've been afraid so many times, but I want to thank God that I met people, 2 people, and they were telling me the same thing. They were telling me when you're faced with a fear and you can control it, probably you want to start a business and you're afraid to start because you have so many fears. How will people look at me? You want to start a relationship but you're afraid. They told me to always face my fears. Yes, and that has worked a lot for me. So, the very last is talking about it. That is number 4. And talking about it, for me, when I talked about it with people, and these very special people that I was telling you about that told me to face it, if you have a very good support team, you'll overcome the fears because this support team will tell you to face it in many cases. Even when you're afraid, they'll encourage you, they'll support you, and they will let you know that it's okay to be afraid, but then you still have to keep going. Yes, that's all I had time for today. Thank you so much for watching.